So when I got the text message asking me if I wanted to do this, the talk started. And on the way up here, I was pretty sure I knew where it was going, and now God only knows what I'm going to say. Seriously, it's like, holy moly. Turning love inside out. I grew up, and folks, I'm just going to be really real and really transparent because I don't know any other way to get to love. Okay? I know how to get to pretend love. I know how to look like I love you, but I don't know how to get to love without being real. Okay? I was born in the South, and I was born invisible. Because I was born in a body that said I was a little girl. Take that in. I know you can't see it. As my sister-in-law said, I'm just going to need a minute. So just go ahead, take a minute. I spent the first 43 years of my life angry. Really, really angry. Listening to people tell me they love me. Listening to people, feeling people beat me who said they love me while they were saying they love me, in order to fix me. Okay. My commitment to oneness was born at the core of my soul. That's okay, God's calling, it's cool. Because there's only one of us here, it has to be God, right? Just saying. It doesn't matter where we came from. And it doesn't matter where we're going. And I don't care what anybody has ever said to you about you. Ain't nothing broke in you. Nothing. So I'm growing up in North Carolina, well, Virginia actually. Then I went to college in North Carolina. And all I knew was it was a lot of work to try to figure out how women behave and act like one. Y'all are a complicated order. All right. And when you look like a woman and no part of you understands why people relate to you the way they do, it can be crazy making. And so I got a little crazy. Right? Drugs and alcohol were my really good friends for a very long time. By the grace of God, what, December 22nd be 35 years, baby? Yeah. We get to heal if we choose. So I moved to California in 1998. Okay. South of the Mason-Dixon, I heard nothing about female to male transsexuals. We heard about Renee Richards in the South. We heard about one person. Okay. There's some filtration, there's some sterilization that happens with communication, and if you think it doesn't, come out of your hole. We sterilize things intentionally as a society so that you don't know you're being indoctrinated. Okay? I'm going to tell the truth because that's all I got left. Okay? So I came to California Deborah invited me to what was then the First Church of Religious Science in Santa Rosa. Now the Center for Spiritual Living, because we like changing our names. They had a support group for transgender, transsexual people. I was like, what's this? Because I had no idea. Went upstairs to the meeting afterwards. And you know, it took a while for me to understand the courage of what I was actually stepping into, because folks, it did not feel courageous. It didn't. I sat in that room and I learned from a practitioner that I could actually be me. I heard the heavens opened and I heard angels sing. All I did was run through the door. That day, I was online finding out, okay, who does this? Where are the surgeries? Where do I got to go? How much money do I need? It was that fast. It wasn't until after the fact that the courage thing kicked in. If you knew me, you wouldn't think me to be a naive person. And yet I had a blind spot, a really big blind spot. I was operating under the assumption that a group of people who were oppressed would know better. Not so much. And so, as I transitioned, the lesbian community, and I'm just, like I said, I'm going to be raw here. I don't care how you treat me. I care how you treat her. I'm from the hood, people. Only white family in a black ghetto. There was the jail, there was a whorehouse, there was our house. I ain't making it up. I don't care what you do to me. I care what you do to her. That's just how I roll. Okay? And when people avoided her because she loved me, that hurt in a place that I couldn't define. And so I went invisible again. We talked. And it was like, okay, the best way to handle this is, you know, I've transitioned now. I'm a man. We just live as a straight couple. And that worked for about 4 years. Until I realized that now the first 43 years of my life was invisible. I had no way to talk to you about my past. I had no way to talk to you about my evolution. And I was once again living the pain of invisibility. And so the hardest conversation that I've ever had in my life was to sit down with my wife and say, I get it if you want out, because this isn't what we agreed to. And I want to give you that option lovingly, because I can't do this invisibility thing anymore. I can't do it. Not because it hurts too bad, but because it's part of the problem. See, being invisible says that there really is a should line, and that we really all should get on it. That differences are not okay. That there is one perfect way to be, and none of us are it. That's what I can't do anymore, in any way, shape, or form. I refuse. That last affirmation, love is never confused between the actor and the actions. Never. If you want to know compassion, if you're willing to practice compassion, the first requirement is that you fall in love with you. All of you. Not the you you like. Not the you that your parents say is okay. Not the you that got in line in grade school. Not the you that Reverend D signs off on. You. All of you. Because when we fall in love with all of us, we get to turn the messiness into a message. Amen. There are things in my life that I am not proud of. And I refuse to deny any of them. I'm not going to volunteer them. But if you find out and you ask me, I'm going to be honest. Because there ain't no more shame in my game. There can't be. It will kill me. And it will kill me before I ever leave my body. This world has enough walking dead. Our job is to wake up. And you ain't going to like what you see. If you really wake up, you don't like what you see. And if you like what you see, wake up. I ain't judging, I'm just saying. We're in trouble. This world is in turmoil. Thank God it's in turmoil. Chaos is creative. None of us got here without chaos in somebody's body. See, the women will tell you. There's a little cell invader in there and everything goes haywire. And eventually, it all works out, now doesn't it? Till the little monster gets here. And we don't come with a manual that says do this. And it'd be so much easier if kids popped out and went, "Hi, how would you like me to grow up?" That's not what happens. And that's not what happens in society. Okay? If you have not taken the time to get on the calls or listen to the recordings of For Such a Time as This, you are cheating yourself. You have one of the most brilliant minds I have ever encountered. And I'm not saying that just to say it. It's true. I have this vision of Britannica calling her to make sure they got it right. Because she digs. She's never satisfied with the sterilized version. She listens to her soul that goes, something ain't right here. Because it doesn't resonate. Truth resonates in your soul. If what you're reading and listening to doesn't resonate, there's a reason. It's because you're being lied to. Okay? As an out lesbian in the South, I was treated very differently than I am today. I had some concept of privilege until I was slathered in it and didn't want to be. We went to five wedding shows. And time after time after time, I watched people talk to me eagerly. And then when my bride walks up, the conversation's over. Right? Yeah. I came really close to messing up really bad one day in my learning curve. We were at a store, doesn't matter where, I'm not going to tell you, so don't ask, because it doesn't matter. She picked out an outfit, and took it up to the counter and continued to shop. And when we went back up to the counter, the price was doubled. That was like not even really part of the problem. The problem really started when the individual behind the counter, when she confronted that person, and the words that came out of his mouth were, "You people, this person lost his mind." Okay. And again, I'm not proud of it. And here's what I learned from that. Going behind the counter and offering him the opportunity to call the police or 911 or medical emergency, whichever one he wanted, did not help my bride feel more secure. See, that was the ignorance of my white upbringing. Scared her. What he did hurt. What I did terrified her. We have to get honest about who we are. We have to get honest about what we don't know. Time to study Socrates a bit. It's time to get comfortable with what we don't know. Because if I know everything, I have a little sign in my office that says, "If I am the highest authority I have, the situation is already worse than I thought." We don't know everything. And while I have it, and while I have live stream, and I have an audience beyond an audience, we don't have it all figured out in New Thought either. Okay. There are a significant number of people in New Thought that think social justice is none of our business. Okay. So here's what I want to say to that. My roots are popping up. What would Jesus do? Well, here's what Jesus said. "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Because of this," and I'm going to change he to it, "it has anointed me to preach good tidings to the poor, and he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted and to proclaim the release of captives, the sight to the blind, and the healing of the oppressed." Yeah. How about that? Surprise. Jesus was a social activist. And he really was. You know, he hung out with poor people and thieves and hookers. My kind of guy. Right? Because he's keeping it real. So what would Jesus do? He would go out and help people. He would tell the truth. And he did tell the truth. And he did. And if in your mind isn't, "Yeah, and they crucified him for it," then you ain't hearing me. Because they did. And there will be people that crucify all of us who stand up for truth in one form or another. I don't care. See, I don't know what your path is. And I don't know who you are. Because I'll guarantee you, when you looked at me, you didn't see a little girl. You didn't see a little lesbian. You didn't see the heart of an activist. You saw a white guy with a beard. And you made a bunch of assumptions whether you want to own it or not. That's where our work is. Now, here's what I really want you to get, is that those assumptions are blocking you from loving you. They're not stopping you from loving me. You don't even know me. Some of you may never see me again. They're stopping you from loving you because there's only one of us here. See, when I hate somebody else, I have to hate me first. So to love somebody else, I got to love me first. And I got to quit lying to me about who I am. And I got to quit. Almost went way too southern there. I got to not worry a rat's rear end about what you think. Okay? Because I could have your approval and die on the inside. I can do the look good and go to bed suicidal every night. I'm not going to do that anymore. Because I really do love me. I look in the mirror and I have the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever looked at. And there was a time I couldn't even look in the mirror. Couldn't. And if I did, all I could see was my chin because I wouldn't get eye to eye. Okay. You deserve your love. You've earned your love. You are the only relationship you need. I teach a class called Healthy Relationship 101. And people are constantly going, I think you forgot the S. No, I didn't. You think you're here to talk about together we're a real nice person relationship. No. Because how you relate to you is how you relate to me. That's just the way it is. And if that burst your bubble, yay! Ha ha! I'm so unapologetic, you know. Somewhere in ministerial school, they told us that our job was to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. All I heard was afflict the comfortable. I was like, it's on now. Woo! Here's what I want you to know. On the other side of the ouch is an amazing hallelujah. One of my favorite verses in the Bible. We have the Pentecostal connection. Thank God. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Now, for most of my life, I heard that way wrong. Sin is a sense of separation. Okay, so if you've ever seen yourself as separate from anyone else or the divine, you qualify. Metaphysical interpretation of glory is what happens when our consciousness aligns with the consciousness of divinity. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I'm okay being a sinner, and I'm okay working my fanny off to get to glory. Because there is no part of me that has a quit in me. My commitment, which I invite you to join, is to stand in and on the authority of love for absolute oneness until supremacy in any form has drawn its last breath on this planet. Let's take this message into prayer. How good it is to know in every fiber of my earth being that I am in the company of the One. That is truly all that is here. That is all that is present. That's all that can be here, because that's all there is. One infinite, perfect presence, knowing itself, being itself, celebrating itself as all life. Perfect intelligence, perfect peace, infinite abundance. Love. Love at a depth and breadth that cannot be earned and cannot be unearned. This is the nature of my being. This is the truth of my being. This is the truth of all beings. That we live on planet Earth with nothing but love. That every form, every expression beyond the wrapping paper is nothing but love. And so I stand in the truth of that, and I speak my word this morning for each of us here, for everyone listening in, and for this entire planet of beings. That we are each waking up. That we are each saying yes to standing squarely in the discomfort of the truth to get to the core, so that we can look ourselves in the eye and practice Ho'oponopono. To say eye to eye with ourselves, I'm so sorry. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you. We each say yes to healing this planet by healing ourselves, by staying in our own lane and standing in truth, even when it's scary, even when it's hard. To reach deep within ourselves and see the actor beyond the action. To look beyond the behavior and see nothing but God, and see nothing but love, and to respond in love to love. No more meeting hate with hate. That ends today. Today we meet everything with love, because we recognize the healing capacity of love as the only true healing capacity available. No more half measures. No more closing our heart to one another. No more confusion between the actor and the actions. We stand in love this day and every day. So grateful for this opportunity to be used of the divine. To hear the message of the messiness. To feel that amazing love within me speak its truth as me. Grateful to look into the faces and into the eyes of God, looking back at God. So grateful. And so in this gratitude, I simply release my word into that activity of love and law that made it so, that only knows yes, that made it so as I spoke it. And I invite you, if any of this prayer has resonated with your being, to join me as we anchor it together, as we say, and so it is.